Thank you.
Almost good afternoon, Council. Boy, how do you follow a guy like that? Oh, boy. All right. I would like to briefly testify in support of a repeal of Act 97. As we all know, it's not within the county's power to do that themselves, much as we would like them to. And I'm sure that I speak for the rest of us here who came to support that this resolution, that if it were up to us, we'd get rid of geothermal altogether. However, what I do think is a very good thing that is happening, and I would like to commend Councilmember Ford and, of course, Harry Kim for doing all this for us. What I'd like to say is this: the potential is frightening for what they could actually do without geothermal subzones. It's the whole thing of in my backyard. It could happen in your backyard. Any single one of you council members. It could happen in any of your backyards, to any of your constituents, or anywhere else. So I think this is an extremely commendable move to put forward this resolution and to try and put the state in their place. What I'll say briefly as well is that when it comes to home rule, I personally, as some of you may know, am in favor of a much stronger version of home rule, but I will commend the county for sticking up for their own power to stand up to the state. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to move back to Pua'ena now. Can I have two more testifiers, please?
Yes, ma'am. Our next testifier will be Ms. Joyce Folena, speaking in support of Resolution 4213, representing herself.
Okay. I did not understand, Ms. Vice Chairman, whether we can speak on these Communication 87 for 3 minutes and then 3 minutes for the Reso 4213. How did you rule? I'm sorry.
The only communications that are allowed 3-minute testimony are the ones listed in the agenda. The communications that transmit the agenda item, I ruled no. It's just a transmittal. But
thank you. Okay, you can begin my time now.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm speaking in support of Resolution 42-13. I thank Councilwoman Brenda G. Ford, or Brenda J., I can't read that, I'm sorry, for introducing this resolution. Again, Puna has had to reach out of our district in order to be properly represented. I hope this situation changes soon. However, I'm very thankful that Mrs. Ford and Miss Margaret Willey are helping us here in Puna, and not only in Puna, but the entire county and the entire state of Hawaii, because an open door policy in order, what is it beeping?
Oh, I don't know.
An open door could somebody stop beeping? Thanks. An open door policy to drill geothermal anywhere that they choose is, I feel, illegal to begin with, because it violates the first responsibility of every elected and appointed official and employee, whatever, of our government. First responsibility, protect public health and safety. This county and the state have failed to protect our public health and safety ever since they first allowed the first experimental state drilling station here in Puna, because they placed it in the middle of residents. Stop compounding the danger to us. Stop endangering us. Do everything that you can do to have the state of Hawaii repeal Act 97 and Act 55, for that matter, because they're sister acts. And I would say they're illegal sister acts. And I won't say that word beginning with a B, but I'm sure you can read it. I thank Harry Kim for all of his efforts. He has 113% worked to protect our public health and safety in whichever capacity he is appointed, elected, retired, etc. The last paragraph in his letter, in Harry's letter to the editor, help repeal Act 97. I'm going to read it to you. I hope I have enough time. It is my opinion that Act 97 violates every sense of integrity, fairness, and a trust to just do what is right. A line must be drawn to say, stop. And we must refocus on our responsibilities for social, environmental, and spiritual care. Stop poisoning us. That's the bottom line. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Would you like to speak on 3013 as well?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, 3013. You know, whether you're going to say Kanalua or the dog jumped over the fence, no council member has the right to recuse themselves from voting on a matter placed on the agenda of council, whether it's committee or full council, unless that council member leaves the room. We pay you to vote one way or another, not to be vanilla pudding sitting at a council that is highly contentious at times and at times passes laws or defeats potential laws that would hurt or help us, the public. You can't hide behind excused, or you won't be sitting there. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I take the second speaker in Pahoa, I'd like to ask Jeanette and Hilo, how many more testifiers do you have?
Hello, Madam Chair. Thanks for asking. We have one more testifier.
One more. Okay, I'm going to take the second person in Pahoa, take the one more in Hilo, and then we're going to go to a lunch break.
All right, our next testifier will be Mr. Gregory Todd Smith in support of Resolution 4213, representing himself. Go ahead.
Good afternoon or good morning, whatever it is, Council. I'm in full support of this resolution to appeal 97 as well as appealing 55. The point of the matter is that what is so ironic to me, even though that Mr. Ha has testified about the dangers of our modern society, that, if we don't, put geothermal in, we're going to lose energy, our modern society is going to fail. That's nonsense, with all due respect to Mr. Ha. The fact of it is that Germany, for instance, has almost 47% of their electrical power comes from, guess what, solar. The fact that we don't even need geothermal. Why even take the risk? Why even, why open all this to all of our lands, to just laissez-faire development? This is nonsense, and I'm glad that this council, at least some members of this council, are standing up to the state, standing up for our home rule. And the fact of the matter is, other countries around the world are taking a leadership in conversion away from oil. It's doable, whether, and as Bob Patrici pointed out, the grid is dead. It's archaic, it's stupid. I mean, years ago, this island actually had mini grids, small generation plants for electricity that were 90% ran off of biomass, which was the bagasse from the sugar production. We could very well do that today, not only produce sugar and molasses, but alcohol to fuel our cars. We can even get off the oil, we could get off the gasoline tit. The point of the matter is that there are plenty of ways to do this, to get away from oil, and they're here. Brazil, in that country, almost like 49% of their fuel is alcohol-based, and it's also grown. All right? We don't need geothermal. We never really have. And they can't even compete against solar. They can't even compete against the alternates. I've been off power, my partner and I, for 25 years. And before that, I used to install solar equipment on boats and vessels. The point of the matter is, it's nonsense to say that we need geothermal or anything like it. In any case, mahalo, you guys, and listen to the people. Mahalo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to go back to Hilo and take your last testifier, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our last testifier is Kerri Marks. She's signed up to speak on several items on the agenda.
Good afternoon, Council. The first one is Resolution 2113, which is the eminent domain at Lagoon Center. I understand last time, I'm still on ya. It's a little shaky. I understand from your discussion last time that the reason that you're taking Gila Lagoon by eminent domain is because it makes it easier for the landowner to do it that way. Sounds to me like abuse of privilege. I might be wrong, but I would like one of you 9 to check on that and discuss that a little further so we can figure out what's going on there. The next one, moving on, is Resolution 3013, voting Kanalua. I agree with Miss Joyce. I remember this has been kind of a rough start for this council. I've seen a lot of people shut down. I've seen a lot of mics cut. I've seen you edit the video. You're going to great extent to cut the people out of the process, and we're on to you. So please quit pushing us, and we will quit pushing back. As far as the Kanalua goes, yeah, it is wrong to stand up and walk out of the room to avoid voting on something. I have hours and hours of councilmen from the last session getting up and milling around in the back of the right there. You didn't even leave the room. You stood right there and didn't vote. That's bad. We're watching you. So please, man up, woman up, do what you need to do to make a decision, vote yes or no. I like the word Kanalua, though. Back to that, we still like the Hawaiian language, and you should use it as much as possible. Moving on, Resolution 3113 authorizes what? That is, that's organic waste diversion sites. I'm for that. We talked about that last time. I forget what I was going to say about that, but I'm for that. Moving on, Resolution 3313. That is donating tablets from Walmart to the EMS. I think that's awesome. I think somewhere there was another one too. They donated $1,500. That's awesome. But then again, kind of pathetic for a multinational corporation to be only be able to come up with $1,500 is sad. So I think we should accept the money from them and then ask them for more immediately. Most people that work at Walmart probably don't bring home $1,500 a month, so that's kind of offensive. We should get more out of them. Okay, moving on. I'm hungry and cold. 4213. This is the one about Act 97. I support everybody that supported that bill. I strongly thank Brenda Ford for bringing this up. Again, the girl's at the head of the curve on a lot of this stuff. The PLDC was the first thing. Geothermal is the next. Act 97. Oh, I have to read from Donald in my 3 minutes. I'm also speaking, first I'm going to speak for Donald Wessels to make sure I get it through. He had to leave. But Donald would like to say that Act 97 is simply an end run around accountability. Geothermal in Hawaii is a greenwash. It's not clean. It's not sustainable. It pollutes air and water. It creates obnoxious noise and sickening gases. Act 97 makes it possible to dump geothermal anywhere in Hawaii. Those lucky communities will pay by loss of property and degradation of the livability in their neighborhood. Send a message to the state. Pass Resolution 4213. I agree with him. And there are 2 bills, so please write this down. Everybody get a pen. Ready? 2 bills that are to repeal Act 97 are SB 371 and HB 106. Both were referred out to committee yesterday, so we need to track those. There are 18 bills right now relating to geothermal. They still have a couple days to put up a few more thousand bills, so please check those. SB 371, HB 106. Those 2 specifically speak to repealing Act 97. It's a horrible idea for all the reasons said before. Let's see how many more I get. Bill, I don't even want to talk about that. Agricultural tourism. I don't even know what happened. I was here all day yesterday waiting to hear the discussion on that, and there was no discussion. There was Mr. Curran stating that he didn't feel like discussing it, so we're going to push it off to the next committee. I don't like that. Stop doing that. On Bill 333, I don't need to talk about that. You've heard. Bill 4. Oh, terror assault vehicles. Stupid idea. I don't like the war on terror. I disagree largely with Mr. McNutt earlier. I think that Hilo is not a hotbed of terrorism waiting to happen. I think that would be probably about as insane as possible to try and shut down Hilo. I think mostly what terror assault vehicles do is terrorize the public. So quit driving around town. And quit accepting money from the state homeland, terrorizing the public corporation. Aloha. Mahalo. Happy lunch, everybody.
Thank you very much. We will be taking a lunch break at this time, and we'll reconvene at 1:15. Thank you. We're in recess. 1:30. Okay, I'm sorry. If okay with everybody, we'll reconvene at 1:30.